Okay, welcome back to another episode of 3rd and 23. I'm your host Alex, here to talk Sunday games of the Wildcard weekend. So yesterday we went 1-1 on the Browns Lions. I'm sorry, the Browns Texans and the Chiefs Dolphins. Got a super whiff. I gotta own it. As I said before on here, when I whiff, it's usually uh close, right? By possession, half point. I've lost by a half point before during the regular season. But, every once in a blue moon you get hit with just an out of nowhere disaster of a pick, right? I took the Browns and I laid the 2. Uh and I told you guys low stakes, man. This is a low stakes play. I'm not putting a lot of money on that game because to me that game could have gone either way. I expected it to be between 3 to 6 points. Either way, I mean, I picked the Browns, but I could have saw the Texans winning by 3, losing by 30. I didn't see that coming. It's 14-10, and all of a sudden Joe Flacco and that offense just fell apart. 2 pick sixes and all that just completely collapsed. Just didn't see that coming. Gotta own that. Then hit on pretty much what everybody was picking. The Chiefs laid the 4.5. I think everybody knew Miami and the Dolphins, especially particularly Tua, would not be able to compete in those kind of weather conditions against Kansas City. So Chiefs won 26-7, and we hit on that. That was easy play. I had that as a high stakes play. So in the end, we finished green on Saturday, and that's all that matters, right? But moving on to Sunday games. If you guys don't know, the Steelers-Bills got moved to Monday, so we've only got 2 games on tap today. So first, we're going to talk Packers visiting the Cowboys. This spread opened at 7.5. It's gone down to 7. Hasn't really moved off of that. So there was some money, I guess, laying on the Packers taking the touchdown. When you break this game down, though, you look at this. You're talking about a Cowboys offense that's one of the most explosive offenses in the league, particularly passing the ball, against a Packers secondary that's, 1, not that strong, and 2, Jaire Alexander is ruled as questionable. Their top corner, who rolled his ankle a few days ago in practice, did not end the week practicing. He's ruled as questionable. I've been waiting. It's 12 o'clock. It's noon. I still haven't seen him ruled out or if he's playing. But the Packers did activate David Long, a cornerback from their practice squad. Usually that means that guys aren't gonna usually means guys aren't gonna play, right? That's typically how it goes. So that's how I'm taking it. And even if Jaire Alexander were to play with a bum ankle, he's definitely not gonna be 100%. So that's how I'm taking it. I'm proceeding with Jaire Alexander either missing this game or being less than 100% in this game. Which, even if he was playing, the Cowboys' passing game has a significant advantage against this Packers secondary. Then when you're looking at the Cowboys' running game, the Cowboys' running game is a decent, solid running game. With Rico Dowdle in there, it's actually a little better than just Tony Pollard. Rico Dowdle has added that burst that Tony Pollard was adding last season when Zeke Elliott was the starter. So Rico Dowdle adds that burst. TP can still grind out some yards, and the Packers' run defense isn't very good. So the Cowboys' offense should be able to go kind of up and down the field against this Packers defense. And the other side of the ball, the Packers, they've got Jordan Love surprised folks this year with his passing. They started out slow. They were probably one of the more conservative offenses in the league the first half of the season, and they started to open it up more. LaFleur started opening it up more for their passing game. And he got a lot of young wideouts involved on Tavian Wicks, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, when healthy, Christian Watson. Now, Christian Watson is a big one. He's missed basically about a month with a hamstring injury. He's ruled as questionable. No idea if he's going to play or not. Like I said, it's noon. I wasn't going to wait any longer to make this video. But even if he doesn't play, they've still got a bunch of other young wide receivers with Wicks and Dobbs and Reed, who are some promising young guys who have shown some flashes. But now they're going against one of the top pass defenses in the league. Stephon Gilmore's been ruled good to go. I think Gilmore, whoever he covers, is a huge advantage for the Cowboys and is going to be able to kind of shut down one half of the field, right? So that's a huge advantage for Dallas in this game because I don't think any of the Packer receivers really match up well with him. And then when you go to the Packers running game, this Cowboys defense, you can run the ball on them. If you have a good running game, you can definitely run the ball on this Cowboys defense. Aaron Jones and the Packers do have a good running game, so there's an advantage there for Green Bay to be able to move the ball. So now, how do I think this game is going to play out, right? You take into account that this Packers running game, I think, is going to be able to move the ball, but I don't think they're going to be able to pass the ball that effectively in this game to keep drives alive, to keep pace with a Cowboys offense that I think is going to take off for a lot of points in this game. I know there is 7-point favorite, but I'm going to go ahead and ride the home team. I think this Cowboys offense is too explosive for this Packers defense. I could see a lot of points getting scored in this one, but I like the Cowboys being able to cover that 7 at home. Now moving on to the Rams-Lions. So Lions opened as a 3-point favorite, and it stayed at 3. This line hasn't moved at all this entire week. I've checked every day. I've never seen this line move. So it stayed at 3 the whole week. This is a game like if this is I should have gave this disclaimer for that Browns-Texans game. Similar to that Browns-Texans game, this is a game that if it were in the regular season, and if you guys follow this channel, I don't do every game. This would be a game that I would not do this game. So keep that in mind, right? Because it's the playoffs and I want to do every game. I'm going to proceed. So you're looking at this game. First, you got the revenge factor, I guess, in both teams. You got Matthew Stafford, quarterback for the Rams, long career with Detroit, left Detroit, ended up going to the Rams, winning a Super Bowl, and kind of getting that monkey off his back because some people thought he was underachiever in Detroit when the reality is that front office never really gave him any assistance, as far as putting players around him and having a head coach that could a good enough head coach to coach him. Then you look at the Lions. Jared Goff, former first pick of the draft for the Rams, flamed out, heads out of town, goes to Detroit. They got a new coach in Dan Campbell, who's the best coach Detroit has had in who knows how long. And you got and it's kind of resurrected his career. Now Jared Goff to me still isn't some crazy Patrick Mahomes caliber quarterback. I'm not saying that, but Jared Goff has definitely played his best football in Detroit. And so you got that kind of revenge factor. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder. This is a team that ran him out of town, and he's going to have a chip on his shoulder at home to show them that they made, a mistake. And Matthew Stafford, I don't know if he's going to really have a revenge factor because he's probably happy to get out of Detroit. But he's still going against his former team, so you got that in play. So with the Rams passing game, you got a big advantage against this Detroit secondary. If you guys have been watching, this Lions pass defense is terrible. Everybody gets off on it. Even last week, and starters were playing for Lions and Vikings. Nick Mullins got off on these guys hitting passes downfield. So Stafford, the Puka, the Cooper Kupp, man, these guys got players that can get downfield. And then you add in that running game. I know Detroit has a good run defense, But Kyron Williams in this Rams running game is hot right now. I don't think it's going to be completely erased. There's no way. So I think this Rams offense is going to put up a lot of points. But then on the other side, I think that Rams defense is not very good at any phase. I think Jared Goff, he's got a chip on his shoulder. Well, this is a game that he's going to be able to get off and prove the Rams wrong, prove the Rams that they made a mistake. Because I think him and Amon-Ra St. Brown are going to get off on this Rams secondary. I think in the running game, I think Gibbs and Montgomery, I think they're going to go crazy against this Rams run defense. So for me, both of these offense are going to put up a lot of points. The over-under, and I know I never talk over-unders on here. The over-under used to be 51.5. Now I saw it's up to 53. At 51.5, I would have definitely recommended taking it. That's probably be the best bet in this game. But 53, I mean, I don't know. It's up to you guys. I don't typically do over-unders, but that's something that I find kind of interesting in this game. So then how is this game going to play out? You're going to have two high-scoring teams. I think it's a high-scoring game. It's going to be who has enough to get some stops, right? To get the stops needed to win this game, right? And I look at Detroit. I think Detroit has a very good pass rush compared to the Rams. And I think with that pass rush, I think you're going to see Aiden Hutchinson and some of these guys get home enough to where they're going to stifle the Rams offense enough to get the stops needed to win a high-scoring shootout. I like Detroit. I'm going to go ahead and say Detroit laid at 3. But again, I normally wouldn't play this game. So this is a low stakes play. All right. But Detroit laid at 3, Cowboys laid at 7. I'm going with the two home favorites in this one for this Sunday's wild card games. So anyways, that wraps it up. If you like the content, please like, follow, subscribe, all of that. And you're going to see my YouTube handle here in a few seconds. Take care.